Annoying, something I've been called by both my wife and Alec Baldwin's legal team. You can find something annoying in pretty much any part of your life. But if you're looking for a good place to start, video games are always a great option. So today I'll be taking a look at a bunch of different irritating characters, some NPCs, some playable, and everything in between. The higher they rank, the more annoying I think they are. Let me know if you agree or disagree, or if I missed any characters that make you want to rage quit mid-game. First up, Navi, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Hey, listen. In my research for this video, Navi is 100% the character that came up the most. And let me just say, I get it. The voice is annoying, always buzzing around, trying to get your attention. At the same time, I feel like the hate is kind of overblown here. Is her catchphrase annoying? Definitely. But she's also pretty damn helpful at times, helping you lock onto targets or seeing things when you're stuck, giving really helpful hints here and there. Her repetitive nature can for sure get on your nerves, but not to the point where it's going to make you stop playing this game, but you might play it on mute for a while. I'd probably go B tier. Kaepora Gaebora, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now, this piece of shit, on the other hand, is not hated enough. I played this game quite a bit as a kid, and let me tell you, I would much rather hear, "Hey, listen," 1,000 times on repeat than have to listen to this guy. Sure, he gives some necessary exposition and guidance, but does he have to take so goddamn long to do it? Every single time you cross this bird's path, you spend like 3 whole minutes reading his dialogue, trying to button mash A to skip through it as fast as possible. But wait, if you hit A too many times, you're going to hit no at the end and start the entire thing over. And then when you finally make it through his mile-long explanation, you have to sit there and wait for him to majestically fly away as if he didn't just waste a decent chunk of your life. It's just too much, man. Gonna put this one on A tier. Mr. Resetti, Animal Crossing. You know, sometimes life just gets in the way of things. Sometimes you're playing away on your GameCube as a kid and your mom tells you it's time to turn it off and you forget to hit save. And then sometimes when you turn that same game back on eventually, a little mole pops out and just absolutely berates the shit out of you. Now, if you forget to save here and there, it's not too bad. He's pretty chill about it. But the more often that you forget, the more irrationally angry this little guy becomes. It can get to the point where he's pretty much screaming at you. They did tone him down a bit in the newer games, and since New Horizons has an autosave, that made him pretty much unnecessary, so they ended up giving him a new role as the operator of the rescue service. And it's definitely calmed this dude down a lot. But for a minute there, if you were playing this game and forgot to save, you knew the next time that you turned it on, you were in for it. I don't think this guy is too annoying. I guess it really just depends on how much you heed his warnings. Probably gonna put him on C tier. Claptrap, Borderlands. Borderlands as a whole is a series that kind of borders between serious and unserious. One minute you're fighting a grotesque monstrous creature that just might haunt your nightmares. Next minute you're fighting a dude with 3 balls. And I feel like Claptrap as a character really sort of sets the tone for these. He's this little robot companion that helps you get settled into the game, gives you a bit of guidance, and keeps everything pretty unserious with both his voice and mannerisms. Can he be kind of annoying at times? Sure. But I see people online just ragging on this little tin can, and I don't think he totally deserves it. I don't think he's that bad. He's like the annoying, wisecracking sidekick. Basically the game version of Donkey from Shrek. It does seem like they've toned him down a lot in the more recent games, and honestly, I'm not a fan of it. Claptrap being this annoying little voice in your head is just part of the fun of Borderlands, and I just don't think the games would be the same without him. He's going on C tier. Slippy Toad, Star Fox 64. In most iterations of the Star Fox games, Slippy isn't really that bad or annoying, but the hate that this guy gets from the Nintendo 64 game, and honestly, I can understand some of it. He's always in need of help, his voice is super grating, but I don't think he's necessarily that annoying. If anything, your other teammates need just as much help as the guy, and he can't help it that his voice sounds like nails on a chalkboard. He can come off a bit childish and immature at times, but he's just the comedic relief, you know? Do you really want every character in this game about space pilot animals to be dead serious? This is another one where I can sort of get the hate, but I also think it's just blown out of proportion. Outside of the voice, that shit's rough.
No! Oh no!
I think I'm gonna go with a B tier. Tuxie, Super Mario 64. Okay, but like, He's just a baby. It shouldn't be your job as a plumber traveling through interdimensional painting portals to find this baby and return it back to his mother. She needs to be keeping track of that thing. And I mean, yeah, the whole time it's crying, as babies do, and then if you let go of it for 1 second, the kid is just taking off, which does sort of give me some sympathy for the mom. I mean, this kid just wants to run everywhere, man. That's got to be kind of difficult to keep track of, I guess. And you know what? It's a baby. Of course it's going to be crying the whole time. It's lost. It's away from its mom. And then some strange Italian plumber comes up and just snatches you up and starts carrying you away. I'd be crying too. Can't really fault him for any of that. This kid isn't annoying to be annoying. It's just a lost baby penguin. And if you do get too annoyed, you can just toss him off the side of the map, like we've all done. Honestly, I think he's going on D tier. Baby Mario, Yoshi's Island. This baby, on the other hand, can go fuck himself. Baby Mario is exactly what you think it is, a babyfied version of Mario. And if you haven't played Yoshi's Island, you might not think that he's that annoying. You might think I'm being kind of harsh here. I mean, he's appeared in other games, like Mario Kart Double Dash, and he's fine there. But in this game, the goddamn crying, dude. And I know I'm being a bit hypocritical here. I just said we should not fault babies for crying. This baby is the exception. If you're playing this game on the original SNES, you're either going to wind up playing it on mute or with a broken TV. Seriously, this game is so fun as long as you cannot hear Baby Mario, which sucks because the score for this game is pretty good too. Another thing Baby Mario has ruined. But no matter how great the score to the game is, it's just not worth having to hear that cry over and over. I'm sorry, future non-Baby Mario, but Baby You is going on A tier. Toad, Super Mario Brothers. And for our last entry from the Mario Spear, we have Toad himself. Now, I don't find Toad inherently annoying as a character. Even in the later games, he's got a pretty shrill voice, but kind of in a fun way, What I do find annoying though is that in the first couple of games, every single time you make it through a castle level, this happy little fungal ass is just sitting there instead of the princess to let you know that Bowser took her to yet another castle. You couldn't have mentioned this before I trekked through this entire level? I know it isn't Toad's fault, but did he even try to stop him? Even if he was just don't do that. I know it probably wouldn't have stopped him, but maybe slowed him down for a second. I just feel like Toad's walking up in the castle and Bowser's hey, I'm gonna go, man. And then Toad's just kind of all right. It feels like when your coworker lets you know that there's a mandatory meeting, you shouldn't be mad at the coworker, but you kind of are. Let's say C tier. The dog, Duck Hunt. If you've never played Duck Hunt, it's a pretty basic game. You're out in the fields, dog runs into tall grass, ducks come flying out, you try to hit them all before they get away. However, if you have the unfortunate luck of missing every single duck, your trusty dog pops out of the grass and gives his best Muttley impression, laughing in your face because you suck at this game. And I'm apparently not the only one upset at this guy either. No joke, if you Google Duck Hunt dog, one of the top results is a Reddit post asking, how do I kill this dog? And while in some modes of the game you can decide to take your frustration out on him, hitting this dog is not going to make you any better at hitting ducks, I'm sorry to tell you. Let's go with a B tier. Any moving vehicle, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. The Tony Hawk games. Some of my favorite video game memories as a child, playing on a busy city map, setting up to hit a ramp or a rail just perfectly, only to be smoked from behind by one of the many cars buzzing around. In the later games, they aren't as destructive as they are in Pro Skater 1 and 2, even being able to skitch off them and use them to your advantage. Not here though. At least you can usually time it if you're really paying attention so you don't become a victim of vehicular manslaughter. But the second you stop paying attention to these cars, you're getting hit. Just like real life. Going on B tier. Eric Sparrow, Tony Hawk Underground. This snively little piece of trash. Throughout the first Tony Hawk's Underground game, Eric pretends to be all buddy-buddy with your character, only to completely sabotage you every step of the way. This dude is a backstabbing little asshole. And I gotta say, there's no better feeling than dealing with him for the entire first game, and then Underground 2 basically starting with Bam making him piss his pants. And even when he is still pretending to be your friend at the beginning, I already found him kind of annoying. But then after his heel turn, this dude becomes one of the biggest video game pieces of shit, and somehow more annoying. This guy is terrible, no redeeming qualities, annoys the shit out of me every time I see his stupid pixelated face. To quote a song title from the band Hot Mulligan, end Eric Sparrow and the life of him. S tier. Creepers, Minecraft. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big Minecraft guy. I've played a bit here and there, but never like gone out of my way or made my own realm or anything. But that doesn't change the fact that I too have fallen victim to creepers. Sure, they aren't the strongest enemies in the game, but it's their tactics that make them basically unbearable at times. You're standing there minding your own business, making whatever building or contraption you please, crafting the things you've mined, so to speak, when all of a sudden you hear that hissing directly behind you and just think, well, there goes all that work. They're a pretty common enemy, they're completely silent until they don't need to be, and unlike a lot of the enemies in the game, they're not hindered by daylight either. These guys will basically walk into your house and be like, hey, solid A tier, for sure. Moneybags, the Spyro series. So this guy's just doing his job, I guess. But his job is pretty fucking scummy. If you haven't played Spyro, Moneybags is a money-hungry bear who basically charges you what he calls small fees to advance in these games, whether it's to let you access the next area you need or learn a new skill. Do you own these portals, Moneybags? Do you hold all these dragon secrets somehow? Or are you just a con man, setting up shop to trick whatever gullible dragon needs help next? I understand the dude's just trying to make a living, but you have to be such a scumbag about it? Like, come on, man. Do I really have to set every animal in the vicinity on fire and take the rubies that come out of them and give them to you to cross this bridge? Just let me cross this bridge, man. Just let me do it. Come on. He's a pretty neutral character. He's just trying to make money, but it's decently annoying. Going on C tier. I don't really know this guy's name, so the old guy that teaches you how to catch Pokemon. An optional NPC guide to show you how to do a basic mechanic that you need in the game? Good. A non-skippable NPC guide to show you how to do a basic mechanic that you need in the game? Not good. I swear, anytime I play a regular game set in the Kanto region, I absolutely dread having to cross this old man's path. Firstly, he blocks your way because he hasn't had his coffee yet. Okay. And then when he finally decides to not be an asshole, he makes you sit there and watch him slowly catch a Pokemon. To be fair, most of the newer games and most ROM hacks make this, either skippable or completely avoid it altogether. But in the older games where you cannot skip past this, I'm just sitting there like, come on. I think by this point in my life, I've been catching Pokemon longer than this dude. Let me teach him instead. Probably a B tier. Youngster Joey. Pokemon Gold and Silver. I gotta say, right off the bat, I think Youngster Joey is the reason I don't answer most phone calls. In Gen 2 of the Pokemon games, you get some upgrades from the previous games, primarily your new Pokénav, which is basically a smartphone. You've got maps, info about your Pokemon, and of course, a phone. And as you go through the games, you collect the numbers for other trainers. You can call them for a rematch or just to check in, or unfortunately in our case, they can call you. Enter Youngster Joey, the first trainer battle that you have in the Johto region, and coincidentally, the first random phone number that you get. And now for the rest of the game until the end of time, you will just be bombarded with phone calls from Youngster Joey telling you about, the cool Weedle he saw or how strong his Pokemon is. You can be heading up to face Red as the final challenge in the game, and you'll get a phone call from Joey about his stupid purple fucking mouse. I think Joey is just a proto-telemarketer pushing his rat agenda. Fuck Joey. And his rat. S tier. Zubat. Firstly, let me say, I genuinely like Zubat as a Pokemon. Like, if I'm playing a Johto region game, I'm rocking a Zubat all the way up to Crobat. But do you know how many goddamned repels I've used in my life just to avoid being bombarded by these dudes? I do not want to battle every single level 9 Zubat crossing my path in any dark cave. I swear, if you're in a cave, it is every 4 or 5 steps at some points. To the point where it's like, oh great, another Zubat. It's fine for the first couple, especially if you're in a Kanto game and you're trying to level up like an electric Pokemon on your way to Cerulean City. Perfect. For like the first 5 to 10. Then it's too much. After like 20 Zubats, it is time for a change. And like I said, not even a bad Pokemon in my opinion. I use them sometimes. But you can only fight the same Pokemon over and over so many times before it's just too much. If I am not strapped to the brim with repels, I am not stepping foot in any cave, and it is purely because of these guys. Going on A tier. Roman Bellic. Grand Theft Auto 4. Hey, quick question. You want to go bowling? I swear, this dude is almost at Youngster Joey levels of phone calls. Now, GTA 4 is probably one of my least played Grand Theft Auto games, and it's not because of Roman, but he doesn't help. In the game, Roman's your cousin, and he does not let you forget it, constantly calling you and asking you to hang out and go bowling, which wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't as constant as it is. But on the other hand, he's a lot more charismatic than some of these characters, and the more you play, the more he actually grows on you. I think the hate that he gets is a little overblown, but after my experiences with Youngster Joey, I also kind of get it. I'd say a solid B tier. And last up, the announcer, Wii Sports. Alright, so picture this. It's the late 2000s, your family gets a Wii, which of course comes with one of the greatest games of all time, Wii Sports. You start it up, you're playing a game of golf, and nail a shot, only to then get the confirmation that you've always desired.
Nice shot!
It feels great. And then you play some bowling, some tennis, some baseball, and now you're getting praised left and right with every single strike you throw, every ball you hit.
Nice throw!
It's just the best, until it starts happening again, and again, and again. And eventually you get that shot in golf, where it's the 1000th game you've played, hit a nice shot, and you hear,
Nice on!
"Yeah, I know, leave me alone." It's like having a friend that constantly hypes you up, even when you don't deserve it. It's great at first, but then it just gets old. I know there's only so many phrases that they can put into the game, but eventually you're playing a round of golf with the TV on mute. This one's not the worst, it's just a tad annoying, so I'm going C tier. And there you have it, a bunch of video game characters and which ones I find the most annoying. Let me know in the comments which video game characters have annoyed you time and time again. And as always, if you liked the video, feel free to like and subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, you are still free to do that. I promise I won't be annoyed by it. Thanks for watching.